Hi, my name is Steven, and I'm presenting my biometric authentication system. It's just system operation overview. The system was designed to take recurrent attendance of individuals by taking their fingerprint and storing that data in the system along with an ID attached to the fingerprint. Within a database, the ID is attached to the individual's name and also displaying the last time that they scanned their finger. And only one with a password, an admin password, can be signed in to see and view attendance, as well as start the attendance system. Going into system hardware, um, the microcontroller that was used was the Raspberry Pi Pico H. What's important here is the fact that it has UART pins, as well as a programmable I/O pins for custom peripheral support, which is what the fingerprint scanner needs. The fingerprint scanner was the AS608. Has a resolution of 500 dpi and is able to store up to 240 fingerprints. It also communicates through TTL serial, which is a asynchronous form of UART. System software. The database was made using SQLite. The reason for this was there's no need for a separate server. It all processes in a library, and the entire database is held within a single file. So there's no need to connect to any network of any kind. The GUI was made by using the TK interlibrary. Go into more specifics of the system itself. For enrollment, during the enrollment process, an individual is asked to scan their finger, is asked for their name, and then also asked to scan their finger. If for whatever reason the fingerprint scanning is incomplete or gets messed up, it'll ask you to do it again. And then once it's done properly, the individual is added into the system along with their ID, where this can be viewed in the database. For the removal of an individual, they have to you have to first get their ID. And so if they remember their ID, you could either just ask them for it or you search up their name within a database and it'll pull up the person with their ID. Once you get the ID, you can move on to the remove section where you type in their ID and upon pressing entering, their data is removed from the database and their ID is recycled into the system. For attendance, there's an attendance mode, which is what starts up upon entering into the system after you type in the password. It's made for just fast and reliable startup for the day to be able to just type in a set time, and after that set time, anybody who scans in would be considered late. There's another database in the system, the View Attendance Today database, where the admin can check and see who actually attended class for the day. It shows a timestamp that has when they signed in or when they scanned their fingerprint for the day, and it also shows who was late for the day. This resets after 11:59 p.m. to get ready for the attendance for the next day. And so, if you were to look into the database before anybody scans after 11:59, you'll just see a blank database until people start scanning. Now, going into the demonstration of the fingerprint sensor or the database and fingerprint system. You first type in the admin password to get in, and once you're in, you're brought straight into attendance mode. But first, let's add in uh, an individual. So you first start off by adding them in, type in their name, and then after that, they're asked to place their finger on the fingerprint scanner. And then once it scans your fingerprint, they're successfully added in, and you can see at the top that the individual has been added in along with their uh, fingerprint ID. You can see that inside this database here. As of right now, the View Attendance Today database is still empty because we haven't actually scanned anybody. I'm going to add in another person just for an example during the scanning process for attendance. They're also saved with a different ID for them. And now back into attendance mode. Right now it's 12:46, so just for attendance purpose or just for demonstration purposes, we'll make 12:49 the cutoff period. Once you apply that, now we can start scanning people in. So I place my finger onto the fingerprint scanner, and as you can see, it says scan Chad Dune. If this person, Chad, were to try scanning his fingerprint again, what you will see is that Chad Dune has already scanned for the day. So you're not allowed to scan more than once for the day. Now we'll wait for it to become 12:49. Right. So at 12:49, an individual is still able to scan themselves in and they'll still be considered on time. But once 12:49 turns to 12:50, anybody who scans will now be considered late. So now as 12:50 comes, the next person scans in, and as you can see, that person has been considered late. Now if we go back to the main menu of the admin and go into view attendance, you can see the people that have now been scanned in for the day, as well as whether or not they were considered late. You also see the time that the person scanned in for the day. In conclusion, the biometric attendance system successfully incorporates a fingerprint to sign in for attendance as well as storing scanning history. It successfully has a streamlined greater user interface, which enables enrollment, removal, database viewing, and real-time attendance tracking with visual feedback. In addition to this, there's a cutoff time logic and lateness detection, which helps create a real-world experience for when you're in a classroom or for work. Those that are late, you can actually be able to see and do whatever you need to do in terms of their lateness. And there's a centralized database that ensures consistent logging and being able to report accurately daily. Thank you.